universal claims, but it's not the
Michael,
what's hard to figure out?
I don't want to kick you from the room. Okay? I really don't. But I will kick you from the room if you persist in bickering. Now, which I'm not suggesting that you shouldn't disagree with me. I warmly welcome you to disagree with me. Now, I've already explained to you that, can you stop with the pot scraping there?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yep. Okay. But right now, we are discussing, from the get-go, we were discussing your atheism. So there's no burden shifting. Okay? Mm-hmm. Now, if you want to question or interrogate me as to why God exists, I'll be glad to answer those questions. And in fact, did you not ask me how it is that I invoke that God is? Did you ask me that?
No, I didn't. Mm-mm.
Yes, you did, Michael.
Oh, well, yes, I asked how you...
Yeah, you did ask me, Michael.
Knowledge that God exists.
You asked me how it is that I believe that God exists, and I told you how you asked me how do I know, and I explained to you in a truncated form how and why I make that claim. Did I not do that?
You did, yes.
Good. So if I ask you to defend your position after I've given you my position as to why God exists, then it is therefore impossible for me to be guilty of burden shifting.
Okay.
Now, I don't want to hear you say one more time that there's burden shifting going on here. Right now, we're talking about your atheism. Now, both theism and atheism are universal declarations. Are we clear?
Do I get to disagree with that or no?
Well, Michael, we've already been over this. We've already been over this several times.
I agree they are universal claims.
Good.
Now, can you just deal with the claim that what I'm saying?
Okay, so your atheism is a universal declaration that God does not exist. Okay, Michael. Okay.
Why is this difficult? Just deal with the argument that I'm making.
Okay, you haven't made an argument.
I'm just saying, you're saying...
Michael, have you made an argument?
I don't believe
Michael,
you.
Listen, I will tell you again, I don't want to kick you from the room. Okay? You hear me? I don't want to kick you from the room. But if you continue in this childish, adolescent manner of bickering with me, I will kick you. Now,
just trying to have a conversation with you, man.
Telling me that
I don't make it easy for you.
Listen, I'm going to read. Okay, listen. This is sad. You're a 40-year-old man, and you are literally reasoning like a 13-year-old. I'm going to go to the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy. Okay. Mm-hmm. This is not a Christian or a Bible thumping site. Hold on. Okay.
I can't prove it. I can't prove it.
Okay, Michael, hold on a second. Okay, we're going to go to the Stanford Encyclopedia. You see, we have to do this rudimentary education because you atheists want to play these little games. Okay, I'm waiting. I don't know why my internet is slow. Why isn't this loading? This is ridiculous. Okay. I will recall off the top of my head while I'm waiting for the stupid internet to load, I don't know why it's not loading. Okay.
No worries. I think you're pretty knowledgeable. So.
Okay, I'm just irritated because this is not loading, and I want to read to you the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy. Why isn't this working? All right, hold on a second. Just give me a second, please. All right, let me try this. I apologize for the delay. Might be my VPN. Okay, let's try this. Okay. That's what it was. It was my VPN. Okay, I'm going to read this very quickly to you, okay? The word atheism is polysemous. It has multiple related meanings. In the psychological sense, the word atheism is psychological state, specifically the state of being an atheist. Well, an atheist is defined as someone who is not a theist, and a theist is defined as someone who believes that God exists. This generates the following definition. Atheism is the psychological state of lacking belief that God exists. In philosophy, however, and more specifically, in the philosophy of religion, the term atheism is standardly referred to the proposition that God does not exist, or more broadly to the proposition there are no gods. Thus, to be an atheist on this definition, it does not suffice to suspend judgment on whether there is a God, even though this implies a lack of theistic belief. Instead, one must deny that God exists. Okay? Now, I mean, I could go on. I'll read this. According to the most usual definition, an atheist is a person who maintains that there is no God. That is, that the sentence God exists expresses a false proposition. In contrast, an agnostic, in an epistemological sense, maintains that it is not known or can be known whether there is a God, or whether the sentence God exists expresses a true proposition. On our definition, an atheist is a person who rejects belief in God regardless of whether or not the reason for the rejection of the claim God exists expresses a false proposition. People frequently adopt an attitude of rejection toward a position, blah, blah, blah. Okay? Then they go on to cite Graham Oppy, where Graham Oppy takes the position that atheism is the denial of the existence of God. Now, when you say, I believe there is no God, that's a propositional stance. It is not merely referencing a mental or psychological state. Do you understand?
Okay.
Okay. So we need to stop with this atheist cliche where you're taking your stated proposition, I believe there is no God, and you simply try to transmogrify it into merely and only a psychological state that doesn't have any external propositional content to it. You believe the universal, there is no God, i.e. that all things that exist do not derive and depend upon God. That's your propositional belief, right, Michael?
No, of course not.
Michael, there's only two positions. Either you believe, Michael, listen carefully. Michael.
It could very well be a God that does that.
Okay. Michael, are you just trolling me, Michael?
No, just listen to what I'm saying.
No, I am listening to you. That's why I said, are you trolling me?
I'm saying that there could be a God that does that.
No, Michael. What you're just simply saying is, I could be wrong about what I am asserting to be true.
No, I'm just saying it could.
Michael, is it your position that God does not exist?
I believe he does not exist. Correct.
Good. That's all I need to know. You believe that he does. That there is no God. You believe there is no God.
I don't know if he does.
Okay. We're not. Okay, Michael, have we covered that territory before?
Yes, and I'm trying to get you.
Okay, then why are you repeating? I'm not interested in what you claim to know, Michael. We're focusing on what you believe. Now, this is the third time we've traversed this very issue.
This is so frustrating because this conversation could.
Yeah. You know what's frustrating is because you're a 40-year-old man and you have the focus of a 13-year-old, and you're flipping and flopping and whipping out atheist cliches like there's no tomorrow.
I have been focused.
No, you have not, Michael. No, you have not.
Leading down a path that isn't appropriate.
No, Michael, I haven't even gotten anywhere of an analysis because you keep on going down rabbit trails. Now, Michael.
Let's just move on.
Okay, good. I'm going to give you one more chance. If you pull the usual bait and switch and bickering games like atheists do, I'm going to kick you. Okay? Now, that is not to say that you can't disagree with me. I welcome that. But if you play the little bickering game one more time, you're gone. Now, Michael, theism is a universal declaration. Okay? If I say, I believe that God exists, there is little to no difference from me saying God exists. Okay?
Okay.
Now, it's almost a distinction without a difference. Now, your atheism, like theism, atheism is a universal declaration in that God does not exist and that all facts exist without dependence and derivation from God. So are we clear that atheism is a universal declaration?
You're clear. Yes.
Good. Now, what is your rational justification for such a universal declaration?
I have no rational justification for that declaration.
So your atheism is irrational, though.
I suppose so.
Then your atheism is arbitrary?
Well, according to the two choices that you gave me, apparently, yes, it has to be. Right? Because
Okay.
I cannot disprove that God.
Okay,
just can't do it.
okay, Michael.
Yes, sir.
I'm thinking of several colors: red, green, blue, and purple.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to select one of those arbitrarily, without any reference to your likes. Red, green, blue, purple. Select one and tell me what it is.
Purple.
Okay. Now, you've selected purple arbitrarily. Now,
Well, not arbitrarily. I have a reason for choosing purple.
Michael, did I ask you to pick it arbitrarily? Okay,
How can I do that?
Michael, have a nice day. You're a numbnuts. Okay, you have no business having these kinds of conversations. All right, I got to make a phone call.
Yeah, go ahead.
Wow. What? Here's a 40-year-old. See, this is the reason why I asked him: is if he has a history of drug or alcohol problems, or that he has some type of cognitive impairment. He's 40 years old, and he shows no willingness to focus on what's being presented to him.
Of course.
And in my biased opinion, it was entirely purposeful. It's a strategy that they employ to bait and switch, dodge. Okay,
Barricade, yeah.
It's a form of cheating in the conversation.
Notice
Okay.
he kept on saying he has a lack of belief to you. When you said, you believe there's no God. No, I have a lack of belief. And then he started saying, oh, no, I do believe there's no God.
Yeah. Okay.
He baited. That's a
I gotta return. I gotta return a phone call. But that was a colossal waste of time in my life.
No.
Okay. And by the way, it's not that Michael doesn't have the intellect. Maybe if he spent as much time focusing on getting tattoos on his arm as to having an adult interaction, I wouldn't have had to deal with him in such a stringent fashion. You know? Wow.
It's all good. Go do your phone call.
Yeah.
Okay, Scott, so thank you for being patient with us. So, Scott, let's say you. So can you prove to us that there is no God, Scott? If you're still there. Oh, Scott. I invited you on stage, bud. Scott, so please tell me, where did you determine that the Christian God does not exist? Simple question. Okay, I'm going to move him down then. If you're just going to sit here and waste my attention. So, if anybody has any evidence to prove that there is no God, that the Christian God is false, please come on up. You're more than welcome to raise your hand. Okay?
Yeah, hey, Martin, let me say something really quick with that. The Michael guy, that last question, he just didn't focus. Don't ask. arbitrary, right? And then Michael was like, oh, it's not arbitrary because of reasons. Like, Darth didn't ask you that. It's like, these people don't stay focused, and he talked about knowledge and belief, and I was thinking he's trying to make a distinction without a difference, so it's sort of like the atheists try to cliches, and I was like, okay, that's all I want to say, but
No.
Yeah. Well, if it is straightforward, I do have a question as to, okay, you don't believe Jesus to be God, right? You claim to be Christian. I don't know if you're claiming to be like a Unitarian or what, but you don't seem to accept Jesus being God. Is this correct?
Who are you talking to, me or Jacob?
I guess it's Mr.
Oh, okay. No, I do take Jesus to be God.
Okay. Then do you understand? Because some people who do take Jesus to be God also has this like a modalist understanding, like a oneness, a type of thing. You're not that, are you?
Well, maybe. See, the thing is, when it comes to the Trinity, there's like the Roman Church kind of outlined their conception of the Trinity pretty early on, and they have like a specific view on like the relationship between like the three persons of the Trinity, right? Like the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Each of them is God, but the Father isn't the Son, and the Son isn't the Holy Spirit, and yada yada.
No, you think the Father
that's
is the Son?
Yeah.
Okay. So some people, that's kind of like oneness. Have you heard of what oneness is?
Yeah, no, I've heard that. But sometimes like, it kind of looks sometimes like the Bible is talking about partialism, but I mean, Trinitarians would label that a heresy. Like,
so you believe in one God, you believe Jesus is God, but you also.
Privilege if I'm looking for the goal of setting everyone free with a